Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Welcome, everybody, to 90 Day Fiancé Fridays on a Sunday to talk about Happily Ever After. What's good?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Good. Yeah, we would have started earlier, but it took me a minute to finish up. Pause.
I mean, yeah, it took a while, I guess, for Shabooty to get through the episode, which is understandable, right? This was a very slow episode. We had a full scene of Darcy hunting boars.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think I even need to explain to you the level of boredom that took place tonight. And not only that, but we had a full-on scene of Yara's bogus puppy couture business event, which was even more confusing for me because I assumed that this was going to be an online company because all companies are online. So the actual event was very confusing for me because I was like, what are we doing? Because wouldn't this be a drop ship company where they ship the puppy couture from where somewhere in Tokyo or China to the customers? So like I was very confused by the whole situation.
Yeah, I feel like they put together that event solely because they were filming it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made sense.
It was a requirement of filming that they had to go out and pass out flyers and have an event because let's just be real, that puppy couture is an online venture. The fact that Yara and Jovi have followers on Instagram, that's how that is going to get out to people, not by walking around Miami and handing people a flyer. Like, isn't that what they do when somebody goes missing?
Well, that's what they do at that Baltimore strip club.
Oh, well, yeah, they go in and they try to lure you inside like it's a little white.
Yeah, I thought it was like club nights and stuff like that where they lure you in with like flyers and like free cover and stuff like that.
That's a very New York thing. After we talked about that, I remember multiple times when I was in New York City, people, because I actually had this conversation with my friends after. I was like, guys, we probably are supposed to be dead. Because I was like, we were walking down the street in New York, and a random guy walked up and said, hey, do you want to come with me? And we followed him to some basement in some alley. And I was like, we probably should be dead. Because I was like, but we weren't. We saw a cool comedy show and had fun. But like the idea that we let this person lure us into some dark alley, into a basement of a theater that we couldn't see from the street that wasn't labeled is probably our ignorance in itself.
Yeah, I've had nights like that in DC where I shouldn't have survived based on the seedy places I've ended up. They're like we could do a whole auxiliary show on it. But they're like, here's what I'll say. Do you know who like Sarah J is?
Should I? Because I don't think so.
Okay, well, before Gina starts Googling, I have to warn you, don't just Google that name thinking it's going to be Disney.com. It's going to be the opposite of Disney.com. But anyway, she's an adult star, Sarah J. And there was one time in DC, like I went to like a Sarah J after party, and let's just say I'm happy I survived. Anyway, let's get back to the 90 Day Fiancé.
Sounds like a fun story for later. Okay, but yeah, so tonight, I guess we were already on Jovi and Yara, or Jody, if you're the guy from when he was passing out the flyers, she called him Jody. But we watched that unfold. Her event was obviously garbage and it wasn't set up correctly. But what came out of that was Libby confronting Loren for calling Andre, I guess she said he was a horrible human being, which they played the clip back and she didn't actually say that. She said he was a dick, not a horrible human being, but not that he's not a horrible human being. It's just she didn't say that specifically. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, Libby, this can't be the first, second, third, or fourth time that someone has called your husband a horrible human being, because literally you in every in-the-moment interview of every season you've ever been in, you discuss how horrible of a human being he is. And
well, even her own family does it.
Right. So I was like, so wait, is this one of those situations where I can say it, but you can't? Because literally your whole existence on this show is based around him being a horrible human being to you and everyone around you. So I was like, are you surprised by that? Or are you just irritated that someone said it, other than you? Because I was like, that's kind of your whole shtick, right? Like you married an asshole and then you pretend that it bothers you that he's an asshole, but it's like you knew he was an asshole when you met him. So I'm kind of just tired of her shit.
You should just be happy that someone even called him a human being, period.
The fact that he was like, well, both of them, they're like, we're so sick of us being the topic of conversation when we're not even there. And I was like, bitch, nobody's talking about any of you. Lauren, Alexi, Jovi, Yara, Libby, no one is having any off conversations about y'all. The only reason why we're talking about you is we're being forced into it. Like we're being held against our will, waterboarded and kidnapped into dealing with you people. Like no one is talking about you. And even if they were, you should be happy that they are because you have no business on TV. Y'all are so boring, so annoying, and so off-putting. The fact that you're even on TV, there has to be somebody in heaven that likes you because we can't stand none of y'all.
Yeah, I mean the whole argument, it just felt like you were like to kind of piggyback with your sentiments, but it's like three couples that are, career TV people where it's like they know this is the only way they have a storyline is to have this like dumb argument.
Well, what bothered me was Libby was acting like she was gonna do something. Because
Mhm.
I was like, Libby is the last person that would actually do anything. Like, because remember when all of her family was talking crap about her husband? She didn't hit nobody. She got in people's face. She's like, she might even try to get into someone's face, but I was like, if you're gonna pick a fight, Lauren is such a cop caller, run away, scared of confrontation person. Like, I don't even think that counts. Like, if you want to pick a fight with somebody, pick a fight with somebody who might actually fight you. Like, then I would respect you more. But I was like, this play pretend fight between two of the most scariest girls on the show is so boring. Like, if you want to bring some real action in there, bring a real person who will really get in somebody's face and start some shit. Like, bring that in there. Don't give me this BS.
True, but I'm sure like I assume they're all still tight and friends present day.
Oh, absolutely. I fully
Mhm.
support that statement. They're all besties. Oh, Gwen made her appearance tonight. Gwen
Mhm.
hasn't been on the show in a long time. Gwen is everybody's favorite mom. And
Mhm.
Gwen got a tiny bit of screen time tonight. They didn't really focus on her, but it was nice to see her. I've always liked her. She's a Louisiana mom, and y'all know I'm from Louisiana. I grew up in Louisiana, so every time I see her, I get like childhood vibes. Like there's so many moms that are just like Gwen when I was growing up. So when I see her, it brings me back to my childhood. So it's nice to see her. She looks great. And she was at this stupid event, but they didn't really focus on her. She was the only person I really wanted them to focus on, and they didn't. So
Shout out to the Bayou.
shout out to the Bayou, y'all. Okay, so Tara and Guillermo went
Mhm.
on a romantic getaway.
Yeah, like, could I just say real quick, like anytime like their whole like chemistry was like was so like I feel like she gives him I feel like he gives her the ick. So anytime they got close, she had like the ick. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, did you feel that way? I
Yeah.
mean, I felt like she was overly flirty with him.
No, it was like forced for like the camera.
Oh, so you
You
feel it
could
was
tell she had like the ick, like something about him. That's why she was like laughing a lot and she was like kind of nervous laugh and like making jokes because she was like so uncomfortable around him, which is weird. That's like your husband slash baby daddy. But she just had that like ick. I think it's just like I think when you're too far down the ravine of like that's too far like down the pit where it's of no return, that it's like she just has that gross ick about him where it's like it's dead. It's so dead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess when you're so far up Shit's Creek, right? And the paddle's gone, the current's picking up, and there's no point of return. Maybe, and then maybe the producers are like, oh, y'all should try to work it out. Because, in the last episode, Guillermo's mom is the one's like, oh, you should try to win her back, whatever. And like you said, maybe it was too far gone. And the whole thing that was odd to me was they broke up because he thought she was cheating. And the whole time that they were out together so far, they never brought it up.
Mhm.
That was odd to me.
Then they showed the preview for like I don't know if it's the next episode, but where she I don't see, I'm not really buying into it, but like she asked him like, so have you ever slept have you slept with anyone else the whole time we've been married? And then I feel like she's doing the 180 like Jedi mind trick of like gaslighting kind of like, hey, have you fucked any chicks? Because it's kind of one of those where it's like I think she's probably had at least like an emotional affair. So then she's trying to like pin it on him, and then it's kind of like what's it called when you like I forget what it's called. When you like call out someone, but really you're just talking about yourself, like a self-report. I think she's like self-reporting. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, maybe, also the timeline was really confusing for me tonight because she said that he moved out 2 weeks prior and she had already went to Spain and came back. And before she left, he had already moved out. Doesn't it seem like the 2 weeks timeline she gave tonight doesn't seem accurate? Because I was like, you went to Spain and came back all while he was gone. And then while um y'all were split up as well and he moved out, you also did that concert that he didn't go to. He also had enough time to rent an apartment, move all his shit in it. I was like, 2 weeks doesn't seem accurate to me. I was like very confused by that.
I thought she went to Italy, but regardless, if I
Oh,
was separated, the men are gorgeous, both in Spain and Italy. So,
well,
if I was her, I would get banged.
I was thinking Spain because that would make more sense for bachata, but
Well, I think she like in the last month she went to Spain, but I think for this, what we're seeing on TV was when she went to Italy.
no,
Oh,
what she said at the beginning of her scene was she said it's been 2 weeks since Guillermo moved out.
Hmm.
She was already back from Italy.
Yeah.
And she had already done that show before she left. So this was an action-packed 2 weeks. And he had already found his own place. He had already moved out. He had already, I don't know, the timeline was a little off.
Yeah, he already got a hammock delivered to the new house to build in the middle of the night. Whatever.
Right. Like I was like, I don't know, 2 weeks don't sound right to me. But whatever you're selling, whatever, that's cool. That was an irrelevant point of the storyline anyway. It just caught me off guard because I was like, you were able to go to Italy, record an album, and come back, and it's still in the same 2 weeks. Like,
Mhm.
and I'm saying she got banged in Italy because she looks pretty happy when she came back. That's all I'm going to say to that because she was miserable before she left. She she got her bang on, came back from Italy. I don't blame her.
Mhm.
Newly refreshed.
Yeah, she looked like busy.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I was under the impression that they weren't together anymore. So them like I'm trying to make it work or whatever was a little off-putting for me. Because I was like, what is this? Because I was under the impression that they were fully broken up or whatever, or maybe they are. But the idea that they went on this little romantic getaway and he put rose petals on the bed like they were gonna be banging and stuff. I was like, this is odd to me. And then she was like, the whole time she was in Italy, he never reached out to her,
Mhm.
other than to communicating about the kid. But then when she gets back, they're gonna go to a hotel or whatever they were at, bed and breakfast, and sleep in the same room, which was even more weird because they lived together and they wouldn't sleep in the same room.
Yeah, like
The
my
whole thing was super odd to me.
It was a weird dynamic.
yeah, it was awkward. There's a lot of tension in there. And then like yeah, if they did have sex at this little bed and breakfast, I would say it was more of like a pity one last fuck before we fully never have to see each other except around the kid. So if she did bang him, it was probably the last time she ever banged him.
But do you think he knew that, or you think she just did it and he thought things were going great and she knew that this was never gonna happen again? Do you think that's how it went?
I think it was pretty clear, like when the cameras aren't rolling, I think it's pretty clear that like this is the last hurrah.
Oh, so this was a mutual thing. They both.
Kitty sex.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I was confused because she kept saying stuff that was really awkward. Like he was like, "Oh, I don't want to get it on my face." She's like, "All over your face, just like you like it." And I was just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" I was like, "Warn me next time." Like it was really awkward and off-putting. But like you said, maybe that's why.
That was like a defense mechanism of like when you feel kind of it wasn't like meant in a it was kind of like it was just a deflection that she just felt awkward, so she's making like sex jokes, but really it was just it wasn't you don't expect a woman to be making sex jokes, and normally if they're way into you, like if she when she was in Italy with an Italian producer, she probably wasn't saying like right in your face just how you like an Italian producer, so she's probably way more coy and sexual sensual. So anyway, yeah, I think she was just like feeling really, it was like a nervous kind of thing.
Maybe you're right. You're right. All right. So let's talk about Julia and Brandon. Right. So I just want to bring up, do you remember a few weeks ago, Julia was like, my parents can't be around each other. They don't get along. They hate each other. They can't be in the same room. Have you noticed that since they've arrived, they've been attached at the hip? They're like sitting, even when they're eating or doing anything, they have to be sitting on top of each other. Like when they were eating breakfast in this episode, they were like literally on top of each other. So I have no idea what if this is a storyline, like if her parents actually hate each other or not, because based on what I've seen so far, they're so connected and so attached at the hip. It almost looks like they're still together to me.
Yeah, I mean, if most viewers that aren't like like that know all the details like you, they probably wouldn't even, they just would assume they're still but tight and together.
Well, yeah, they seem very, very connected, right? Like the way ever since they've gotten there, they've just been attached at the hip. Wherever I see them, they're together. When they're sitting at the table, they're sitting really close. Like if I can be in the same room with people that I don't like, but I'm not gonna sit on their lap. Right? Like I'm not gonna eat next to them if I don't got to. If there's other chairs available, I will eat somewhere else. So like this whole thing is really interesting to me because they made such a big deal. She's like, you can't put them in the same room. They'll kill each other. They hate each other. And the whole time I've seen them, kind of look like they've been banging this whole time. That's just how it looks to me.
Yeah, I mean, when they were cooking breakfast, when she was, I can't remember, was the mom the one cooking breakfast? But yeah, she was like taking care of the father.
Well, right. Only thing she didn't do is actually feed him the food, right? Like that looks like people that are together to me.
True. So then what did you think of the doctor's visit?
All of this is a waste of time because okay, so the comment came up tonight. People were like, if they were gonna cover the pregnancy and journey on this season, why do you think they went and announced the pregnancy in the middle of the season? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Do you know the answer to that? Because we're clearly covering the journey of because obviously she's gonna have this procedure done. They're obviously gonna get pregnant. They're gonna have a baby. Obviously, we know that. Why exactly do you think they went and announced the pregnancy halfway through the season before we got there?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it annoyed everyone when like we were speculating over the Jasmine pregnancy and we were on top of the Jasmine tea and we kind of announced it before Jasmine could and it like probably annoyed people. So now they're like, you know what? We're not going to let anyone spill tea on pregnant people. We're going to do it first. Fuck them.
Well, yeah, it could be that, they want to be in control of the narrative. And obviously Julia's showing now because I was like maybe they were like you said nervous. They're like, "Well, now that she's showing, she can't never leave her house. She has to buy food, she has to go to the doctor, she has to leave her house." They're like, "Maybe we should get on top of this." Because they didn't get on top of it with Jasmine, it got out on its own. So they were like, maybe we learned our lesson from the last situation and we should get on top of it and we should control the narrative, which I don't know. It seemed stupid on their part because we didn't know about it yet. Right? Like it wasn't circulating, it wasn't causing any drama around the internet or anything, but they still came out and announced it mid-season before we even got close to getting to where it needed to be announced. So I don't know. Everyone online is like, why would they do that? Why would they ruin their own production themselves? Because they did. They ruined the production. Now that we're watching them doing these fertility appointments and talking about this procedure, this is all a waste of fucking time now because you went and
But when was this filmed?
this show was filmed like a year ago. She wasn't pregnant when they filmed it,
No.
obviously, because
Well, I know, true. And then like, I'm not saying this is the reason they spilled the tea, but obviously like Julia's like head over heels now that she has her like baby registry wish list of gifts out, and now fans are already buying her gifts, so she's head over that.
also wait, do
Yeah.
you think that she was gonna release the baby registry? And then they said, well, if you release the baby registry, people are going to figure out you're pregnant. They're like, so let's do an official release before. Do you think that was what took place? Because she did release that baby registry literally seconds after the official announcement of her pregnancy came out. So I'm wondering if they were forced to do it because she was grifting and she was like, look, I want to get a bunch of free shit. Y'all aren't going to hold me back from that. So they kind of were forced based on her actions. That could be too.
Yeah, maybe she was working in cahoots with J Canal, and J Canal was the one that.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Jasmine was like, well, you can't just hide the pregnancy. You have to capitalize on the pregnancy. You have to get, put everything out there and get all these people to buy you things. So she was,
Yeah, and I'm sure Jake and I was like, well, you got to have all your baby gifts. It has to be unisex gifts so people don't know that you're going to have a boy or girl.
well, yeah, because at this point she knows if it's a boy or a girl or not. She's definitely aware. But I don't know. That whole situation was weird to me though, because when they were getting into the procedure and the doctor's like, "Oh, you have to have this procedure in order to get pregnant," I was like, "Well, man, this is like irrelevant now because she is pregnant." So at the end of the day, she did have it. And then she had the scene coming up next week where she's like, "Brandon, what if I just decide I don't want to have kids ever?" And I'm like, "Well, that's also irrelevant because you're pregnant. So you obviously didn't decide that. So like, why would you even announce it?" So yeah, the whole I feel like they play these games and it's like, why am I watching this if you're just gonna ruin it mid-season? And it's not no one ruining it, it's the network themselves ruining it. Like y'all announced it. Like, why are y'all doing that?
Can we go to like Jasmine?
Jasmine. Oh yeah, Jasmine tonight with her.
No, like, can I read my tweet or whatever?
Oh, did you have a tweet? What's up? What's the tweet?
Oh, well, it was like the scene in the pickup interview where okay. Basically, my tweet says Jasmine says in this pickup interview that she's now lived with Matt longer than she's ever lived with Gino, and that she, quote, still doesn't know what the decision to make, or still doesn't know what decision to make. And then I basically said that they really treat the viewers like we have five brain cells, and it's annoying. So yeah, she admits that she was with Matt longer, living with Matt longer than she even lived with Gino, and but then she still keeps using a line of I still don't know what decision to make, which is like big horse shit.
Right. What decision? Like Gino dumped you and he's literally moved on. Like there's no decision to make. I guess that since she didn't have her permanent green card yet, she couldn't make any final decisions because she doesn't want to go home to them kids she didn't want. So she has to be careful of how she words things. But yeah, she's been living with Matt longer than she lived with Gino. And she didn't live with Gino very long. I don't think people realize that. I think she got here in like
Mhm.
March, and by December, Gino kicked her out. Like, I don't know if people know the timeline, but it was pretty quick that
Mhm.
Gino realized that she was a problem that he didn't want, and he kicked her ass out pretty quick.
True, yeah. Yeah, all of it was so annoying. It was so like performative when they were on like the horse and carriage thing, and then he's all like making her. Didn't Matt make her take off her like wedding ring or something?
Did he? I didn't notice that. I was tweeting though while I was watching.
Yeah, I think he made her like take off her wedding ring, and then he put it in her hand, and then I forget what he said to her, but like basically saying like to move on.
Oh yeah, he did say that. Yeah, I missed the wedding ring part. I was probably tweeting. I wasn't looking, but yeah, I remember that because he was like, "Give me a chance, and you'll trust me. You'll be happy," or something along the lines of that.
She keeps blabbing about Gino, like, oh, you're trying to move on past Gino. And it's just like, dude, can we stop the like fake act? Like, yo, you fully moved on already. You're with your side piece is now your main piece. Like, let's stop pretending like you're still hung up on Gino. You were over him in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we learned pretty quickly that after she arrived, they stopped having sex almost right away. So they were over each other pretty quick. So yeah, the fact that she continues to lead this "I'm so heartbroken over this man that doesn't love me" BS is crazy. And I think Matt's playing his part. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pretend like I love her, but she doesn't love me back, and I'm gonna have to win her over," and all this. And it's like the whole storyline is getting almost repetitive at this point because we know how it ends. So it's harder to buy into the story as it plays out because we know how it ends and we know the situation for what it is. So again, TLC, they keep ruining the outcome of their seasons themselves. Like we know she's pregnant, we know that she's living with Matt, we know all of these things, so it makes it even more difficult. And I think this scene was filmed in Michigan, and we know that she's been living in Florida for almost a year now. So like it just makes it really hard to follow along. If you have the internet and you have Instagram like or Reddit, it makes it really difficult to even buy into this anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna be annoying. Like by the time we see the Afro Latina Matilda, and then we'll go look on Jasmine's Instagram, Matilda will probably be in like preschool.
Yeah, if she hasn't abandoned her by then. Depending on if she gets bored with the kid or not, apparently, because she doesn't, her attention span is pretty short when it comes to anything. And then even it doesn't, her kids are not exempt from that. So we'll see how long she can deal with it. Because I remember hearing tonight, Cara and Guillermo, when they were out, they were like, it's nice to just get out, just me and you and no kids or whatever. And I was like, damn, that kid can't even talk yet, and y'all already sick of it. I was like, it's still new. It can't even talk yet. I don't even think it can fully walk, and y'all are already like, damn, those kids. I wish we could just go out without them. And I'm like, is this normal for people to be over their kids this quickly?
Um, uh,
Like they can't even talk yet. Like I thought the cute stages when they're little and they're silent and mute and you can accessorize them. Like at this point, they're over the kid within the first 15 minutes of getting it. Like, and I'm waiting on Tiger Lily and Adnan to be over their kid because they just had it on tonight's episode. So I was like, ooh, I wonder how long until they're like, I'm sick of these damn kids. I wonder how long we're gonna have to wait.
True. Like, well, speaking of them, were you impressed when Adnan A changed a diaper? B, he like prayed to the baby and like seemed kind of gentle for once. So were you impressed?
No, no. When you start, okay, I have to put a little background on this. I was born and raised into a religious cult. So it was very traumatic for me to watch him speaking his religion into the baby's ears when it was only like an hour
Sorry,
old.
uh, sorry, my alarm's going off.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was hard for me because I was like, what really bothered me of my upbringing was I was never given the opportunity to choose a religion. So when I saw him and he's like, I have to speak this religion into this child's ears before I speak anything, not even its name, not even my name, not even I love you. I have to brainwash it into being a Muslim. It kind of bothered me. And and I don't come down on anyone for their religion or their beliefs. I believe everyone is given that right to believe in and practice anything, but it kind of triggered me a little bit because I was like, that baby can't talk, it can't read, it hasn't even ate yet, it can't speak. Give it an opportunity to be an individual. I just don't like when people try to convert people into something without giving them their own free will. I'm pretty sure most religions are based on the free will factor. You can choose to be a part of it, and I don't like it when they take the free will factor out of things.
I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying because well, you have a more of a like you're your backstory with the cult and shit is definitely not that's a unique story. Um, I thought it was kind of sweet when he was like being gentle, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't bothered too much by it, but
I mean, him changing the diaper and holding the baby, it sort of humanized him in a way
Mhm.
because it does seem like he's an angry, aggressive person most of the time. So seeing that side of him, it did humanize him in some way, but it got ruined for me when he shifted everything to I got to make this kid a Muslim before I can think, and I was just like, oh, I understand that religion and culture is very important, when raising children, but at the same time, you could just hug your baby and kiss it and say I love you and welcome to the world before you try to convert it to something, right? Like that ruined it for me.
true. Well, I'm curious, like present day, what the whole deal is because I know Tiger Lily wasn't too thrilled about that part of it either.
Have you not seen the pictures? She's like went out in full murker with like shit over her head and everything.
Hmm.
Like she's fully submitted to the religion. And again, we don't know if she did it because she wanted to, because on the show she pretends like she doesn't want to, or if she did it because she felt forced. Because I'm pretty sure last episode he called her a demon. And he said that she was a demonic creature or something along those lines because she didn't want to be a Muslim. So who knows? Maybe she converted because she woke up one day and decided it was the right thing to do, or she woke up one day and he didn't give her a choice. Like, who knows when it comes to that type of aggression with religion? Because, we've watched the show for decades, over a decade. And when it comes to converting people, Muslims are extremely aggressive, right? Like, it's not a option, it's a demand when it comes to converting, and I've seen it happen over and over and over and over. So if she did convert, she probably didn't have a choice, right? And at that point, it's either divorce or do it. So she probably was like, probably got to do it. It's like but again, I don't know their situation, and she could have been pretending all along that she didn't want to convert and she didn't care either way. I don't know.
True, but I do want to say, like, let's not I don't want to paint with too broad of strokes because not everyone is like a Muslim hardliner. Like there's, people that may grew up from a Muslim culture, but they're not religious at all and they don't give a rat's ass. So that's what I relate to more so.
Oh yeah, American
Yeah.
Muslims are much less aggressive
Mhm.
and much less demanding. I've noticed that people of that religion that come from overseas tend to be much more orthodox, much more strict and demanding than like if you meet someone who is an American that converted to Muslim or Islam or whatever, they're a little less um strict or orthodox when it comes to that religion. But when you find someone from like Jordan or a country where the main religion of that country is Islam or Muslim, that is where you find the people that are less likely to compromise with things. They're much more you have to do it. Like you must do it rather than I would love for you to do this. It's more so you have to.
Well, a good example that we've seen on the show was Bilal and his
Sorry.
wife now.
Shaida.
Yeah, or Shida or whatnot. Yeah, that's a good example. It seems to be pretty westernized, but still have their belief system at the same time. Because he was divorced and had 2 kids before, right? And I thought that was like taboo, basically. But what am I to know?
True. Okay, I just wanted to, I know this is not about Adnan and them, but I wanted to read my funny Darcy tweet. Uh, this George, you there, by the way?
Yeah, read it. I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
Okay. Sorry, just checking. Okay, wait. So remember when like sorry to crowbar this in, but why not? Anyway, yeah, Darcy, she says, "Hey, I'm Darcy Anna Jones," or she says, "Hey, Darcy Anna Jones is here." And then I said, "Which Indiana Jones is it? Raiders of the Lost Story Arc or Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Plastic Skull?"
Oh, I like that. I like that. So, what did you think of her outfit to go boar hunting? I was just curious if
Oh, like I'm trying to remember, like, has she always been a goofball? Like, where she was like, I forget, she was just like making weird noises and like acting crazy and shit.
oh no, this has always been Darcy, and she's all
Yeah.
what whatever event or occasion that she's supposed to go to, she's always dressed the opposite. This has always been Darcy. This is nothing new with her. Like, so I think it's funny that when she was dealing with Georgie, like, I need you to dress appropriately. And I was like, she doesn't know what that means. She's never ever dressed appropriately for anything. Cause I watch all of her Darcy and Stacy show with her family, and this has always been an ongoing recurring theme for her. No matter what they were doing, she's always wearing something inappropriate. So this scene was super on brand for her. But the fact that they were going to hunt and she was wearing like fur, like anything that would make you look like an animal, you wouldn't wear when you're going hunting. And she was wearing the black fur, which is exactly the type of fur that a boar would have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if she was trying to be funny, but I was like, are you trying to get shot? Because have you not heard of the stories of people that go hunting and they accidentally shoot other hunters because they weren't wearing camouflage? Like you have to definitely take that into consideration. But again, I don't think there was any boars located in those woods. I think this was all entertainment purposes only.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
What?
They're all over Europe. They're on the countryside. They're all in Europe, like wild boars.
Well, and then they were saying wolves were there too.
Well, yeah, and they made a sound that may have been supposed to be a wolf or whatever, but who knows? They can, because you can
Put
make.
it in post-production, right?
Hmm?
I said that sound effect of the wolf could have been put in post-production.
That's what I was thinking because it was very loud. So I was like, because on podcasts you can insert sound in production sounds and stuff as well. So who knows? Like, I don't think that they really were out hunting. Because did y'all ever see a gun?
No.
I didn't see a gun, so I was confused because I was like, you're hunting a boar, what are you gonna do? Shoot it with a bow and arrow? I'm assuming you would shoot it with a gun, and I never saw a gun in anybody's hand. So I was like, I'm beginning to think this is actually production value. Like this is not. This is probably a public park. They weren't actually in anybody's woods, and there was no animals anywhere.
Yeah, they probably said, "Hey, Darcy, take like a drop a loaf on the grass, and we'll pretend it's boar shit."
Yeah, no our animals were harmed in making this episode tonight.
I meant pinch a loaf, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Anyway,
Ooh. Well, Darcy and Georgie's scenes did not deliver anything for me tonight. They didn't give me anything to work with, but
they're super boring.
that's interesting enough. But I guess Florian and Stacy are coming in to save what's left of this storyline. So apparently they're coming out to Bulgaria. Is that how you say it? Bulgaria? I don't know.
Bulgaria.
So they're coming out to, and supposedly Georgia didn't know, and to crash the trip, which might actually be good because Florian is the only thing that saved the last resort. Florian is hilarious, and he's actually the most interesting person out of the four of them. So I think that this might actually save their storyline. So Florian and Stacy are gonna eventually show up because Stacy and Florian did the last resort, and Darcy and Georgie showed up. So this is kind of the vice versa. This is their payback for them showing up in the last season. So,
I feel like we've hit most of the bases. The only other thing I wanted to add was I did a Tara tweet, and where she says, I forget her first part. Anyway, it says something along the lines of like, "Let out all of my sexual humor jokes on, if not my," or "Who am I going to let out all of my sexual humor jokes on, if not my husband?" And then I responded, I said, "Sweet Cara or Kara, whatever. I said, you could send me all your dick jokes. Hashtag no Tim Malcolm just in case."
I like that. I like that. And it's funny because when she said that, I was thinking that too. I was like, you could release them on your boyfriend or whoever you're banging right now. But yeah, I like that. Send them to Shabooty so we can read them anonymously on the podcast. So we can read them.
Yeah.
Love that. Remember back in the day we used to read OnlyFans captions?
Yeah, we read her captions once.
Oh my God, we did. Why did we stop doing that? That shit was hilarious. Like, why did we stop? We need to go back to doing that. Like, we used to do the strip club reviews and we read OnlyFans captions. And I think the game was we would try to guess who wrote the caption. We need to start doing that again.
But I just remember like when we did Kara's OnlyFans captions, like I had like the biggest laughing fit. I was just dying laughing because it was so funny to me. And then I think I like sent it to her for her to listen to the audio. And then I think after she like heard us goofing on her captions, like she like hit it so like her captions aren't visible for like the public, I think, or she maybe just remove the captions or something.
Oh, are we the reason? Damn, that sucks. I loved it though, because I remember we were reading a bunch of captions and it was hilarious. It was almost as funny as the strip club reviews. And
it's hard. I think it's hard to find the right ones because some people like it's not, the captions aren't available for like free or whatever, or some people use like emojis as captions, or so it's like harder to find them, I think.
oh, that sucks. That was a fun segment. That was really fun though, because a lot of them were so ridiculous. It was impossible to even read it without literally pissing yourself laughing. So yeah, that was fun. I wish that we could find some new ones to get into that. Or maybe if it's few and far in between, every now and then when we find some good ones, we can revive the segment. Get back because I really do miss that because the strip club reviews are amazing too, and it's like we got to get that funny stuff back in there because they're not really giving us a lot to work with the episodes. We really got to get creative to keep everybody tuned in, right? Like tonight's episode was so difficult for me to keep tuned in. I was shopping, I was buying stuff online, I was doing so many other things other than watching the show because I just wasn't engaged. I just wasn't.
Yeah, like, and I guess we could try to crowdsource. So if you're a listener of our podcast and if you go to any like OnlyFans pages and you read any like funny, over the top, cheesy and corny captions in the photos, like cars were kind of funny. It was like bend me over and lick my butt or something. It was like shit like that. So if you read like silly stuff, like send it to us so we can read it on the podcast and laugh.
Yes, please. And it doesn't have to be 90 Day people, just any influencer, any person that you happen to see their caption that are funny, send it to us. Right? Like send it to us because I love that. And it's just super funny to see the weird shit that people think is sexy when they're posting on OnlyFans. It's just weird.
True.
Wait, can Cocco? Like, we'll have to find someone who has a membership, but I thought, yeah.
What do you mean? I'm confused.
Like, I thought, like, we'll have to, like, isn't it membership based only and you can read
Well,
the captions?
there's some pages where there's okay, so you could have like there's the OnlyFans accounts that are like free, but you have to log in, and then there's ones that are like paid. So I think Coco was going on like people's pages that were you could like she wasn't subscribing to the paid one, she was going on the ones that were free, but you have to be logged in. But I think but I think to even like have an account and be logged in, then you have to like have your credit card in there, even if you're not paying probably. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. I mean, I think that you can sign up to have an account to look at other people's pages without a credit card.
I assume even to sign up, even if you're not paying, I assume you still have to put it in a credit card. That,
No.
anyway, we'll figure it out. And
We'll find out. Yeah, it's nothing that we can't just discover how it works. But yeah, if you are on OnlyFans or looking at OnlyFans and you see a funny caption, send it to us. And don't worry, you will be anonymous. We won't talk about who sent it to us. We'll just talk about what you sent us. So don't worry about that.
true. All right. Anything you want to else mention before we end it?
Uh, I don't think so. I think we covered everything, right? I don't remember anything on here that I didn't say. I was reading my tweets and I don't see anything that I didn't comment on. I think we're good.
True. I think I'm just reading like live chat. Amberlee says people are going to think she's Sasquatch. I think that's about Darcy.
Mhm.
That's actually funny. That's hilarious.
And then Iggy says they do use bow and arrows in the South with boars. It's nuts.
No way. So the reason why they didn't have a gun is because they're literally going to be launching bow and arrows. Get the freak out of here. That is insane. Well, I was looking for a gun. That was the first thing that I was looking for, but I guess they're they're literally going to shoot an arrow at the boar. Oh, and will an arrow kill a boar? Like
Well, it depends. If it's like one of those fancy compound bows that are like super like the kinds Joe Rogan would use, yeah, then yeah.
oh, you mean like the powerful ones where it's like it shoots at like 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, and
Okay, one of those. Okay, yeah. So not like a pull back manual, like
Mhm.
old school. It would have to be one of those bow and arrow type machine gun, whatever you call it. I mean that. I mean, I go okay. So maybe they were really hunting or whatever. Maybe maybe it is a bow and arrow situation. But I didn't see them drag a boar with them back, so I don't think they caught anything.
Yeah, I didn't see any like weaponry on him, so it definitely seemed like almost like an elementary school field trip where they was going to look at scat in the field, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's what it was. So no animals were hurt during the filming of that scene at all. No one. No one.
It was like outdoor education, basically.
Yeah, a trip to the park.
It was the zoo. It was the zoo.
Well, we didn't see any animals, Gina. It wasn't this. I guess.
You saw their droppings, and that was it.
Yeah, that's all we saw. We didn't see any actual animals, but yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Sure, we definitely went pretty. We did a healthy show tonight, like lengthwise. That's what she said.
Oh, that's what Kara would have said tonight. She was in the dirty joke zone tonight. That's exactly what she would have said.
Well, next time I have a filthy me, next time I find a good filthy meme, I'll send it to her and see if she laughs.
Yeah, I didn't know that she had a dirty sense of humor. That's interesting. I didn't know.
True. Well, she's a friend of the show, so far we haven't upset her. She's yet to send me any text complaining about any content. So far so good.
Well, good. Well, good. I'm glad because we mean no harm. We are literally here to have fun and joke. And at the end of the day, we love everyone. And we don't, well, I don't want to say everyone, but for the most part, we have no ill will towards anyone, but we will drag you up and down the street if you do something funny.
Hmm. True. Yeah. And I guess that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you didn't listen to last Friday's show, listen to it. It's a blockbuster show, and that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, do that. It's very shocking. If you didn't hear what happened, you need to because you're going to be shocked.
Yeah, there was a whole. I always say like 90 Day Fiance canon, like story canon. There was a whole new canon formed of like 90 Day Fiance story.
Yeah, and it involved this particular podcast this time. Like usually when we're telling you about tea and drama, it's indirect to us. This was direct to us, like specifically direct to Shabooty. So you need to listen.
True,
Yes, definitely. Because if I was there, whoo, you guys would see a new side of me. That's for sure.
true. Anyway, I guess I'll end it with hashtag we are all Afro Latina.
Yes, we are very, very
Yeah,
Afro Latina. Very, very Afro Latina.
True. So I guess that's about it. Tomorrow is Tell All Part 2, explosive. Hopefully, they're going to show Jenn banging Rob probably and Cole banging.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently 3 times, and Cole's gonna figure it out for the first time.
True. And then one quick other teaser. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in depth on Friday. It's not a big deal at all, but it's more amusing. Vanja was at the US Open today in like New York. You can go see it on my Instagram. I posted the photo, so check that out.
Oh yeah, check that out. We'll talk.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I'm like, wait, where does he look familiar?
Mhm. So, anyways, yeah, there's other tea. We'll talk about it all on Friday, but we'll talk about Tell All tomorrow. Hopefully, oh yeah, and happy Labor Day. I guess it's after midnight, so happy Labor Day.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy Labor Day. Take care, everybody.
All right, thank you everyone for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on
On a Sunday.
Sunday, Monday now.
True. Peace out, everybody.
Good
Peace out,
night.
everybody.